Hello there. This is Victor Uniform 2 Alpha Zulu Kilo. Name is Kishore. So in this video, I would like to share a few thoughts on maintaining your DC power cable. Here I have a Kenwood TM-V7 dual band VHF UHF rig, and it has this power cable that came in the original box from the factory. So today I will talk about maintaining this particular cable, especially so if you have vintage fuse holders like this, which contain a glass fuse, T-connectors, and a few other things related to the cable itself. Tip number 1. So let's start with the cable. So this is a cable that I've been using it for many years, and so far it's been sturdy, but you may want to check it for any cracks in the insulation. What happens is, over a period of time, because of aging, the PVC insulation starts to become brittle. Especially so if you live in cold weather, or if you keep going to cold weather and back to warm weather, the temperature difference starts to show on the cable insulation itself. You will start seeing cracks in the insulation. So instead of patching it up, it may be better to replace the cable itself. So to replace the cable, you need not go for any expensive ready-made power cables. You can use house wiring cable like this. These cables in India are ISO rated. There's ISO certification, which comes with certain standards related to fire, smoke, etc. So you can readily use this. These are 100% copper cables. They will work very well. But if you are mounting your rig in a car or some vehicle, and your power cable comes from the engine bay, that means from your battery through the engine bay into the passenger compartment, then you may have to look at a different kind of cable, because then you have to worry about heat resistance, because the engine bay can get pretty warm. So in that case, you can go for Teflon coated wires. Those are a little more expensive than these regular domestic house wiring cables, but yes, that would give you additional security. So here you would treat these cables or the Teflon cables just like you would treat your the out-of-the-box cables itself. You would do the crimping, the fuse holders, everything else as it is. Tip number 2. Let's pay some attention to the connectors that came with the rig. So here these are legacy connectors. These are like one-way connectors which fit only in one way. You cannot put them, assemble them wrongly, so that's one level of protection you have. And these are legacy. In the newer models for the rigs or the power cables, you don't see this anymore. So it may be better to just replace these and put something which is more contemporary. So in this case, I have these Anderson power poles, and these are rated for 45 amps at 600 volts. These need to be crimped. You can either use a dedicated crimping tool, or being careful, you can use a cutting plier as well. So these have a small key like this, the key, the elevated or the projecting piece, and on the black connector you can see the keyhole. So you can assemble both these using the key and the keyhole, and they can be put together like this. So they stay as a pair. So you need one pair on the rig side, then the other pair on the battery side. So using this, you can have a lot more reliability, and these are more contemporary connectors. Tip number 3. In most of the legacy power cables, you will find these kinds of plastic enclosures for glass fuses. So these two are on the battery side, and this one is on the rig side. So this is the plastic enclosure, inside which you have this glass fuse in the middle and two glass fuse holders on either side. So in case you blow the fuse like I did, you may have to replace it with another glass fuse. But nowadays, finding a glass fuse of the same size and amperage rating is not so easy. So it is better instead to move to a more contemporary fuse such as this one. So this is a blade fuse holder, and on both sides you have two pigtails. These are available online at Amazon or robo.in. You can check for Indian hams. So you can cut the pigtails to the appropriate length and solder in place of this glass fuse. So with this, you will have a number of choices of fuses. Different colors have different amperage ratings, and of course be sure to pick the correct size. Even in blade fuses you have multiple sizes, but this is the most common size that you can easily find. And ensure you're sticking to the required rated amperage of the fuse. In this case I'm using a 10 amp fuse for a 12 volt power supply. I do not want to go to a 5 amp fuse because that is pretty low for what my rig consumes. Tip number 4, twisting the power cables as they come into your rig from a power source. So in this case, I have twisted this cable so that it can be used for an SMPS or a battery. Typically, if you're operating on a battery, you don't need to twist it. But if you're operating on an SMPS, it is always better to use a twisted pair like this. Some of these SMPSs tend to generate RF noise, and this noise would radiate from a twin cable. So if you were to twist it, the RF noise is reduced to a large extent. Some of you may say, hey, twisted pairs are used for data cables. You're absolutely right. This RF, the spurious RF that is being generated, is a much bigger issue for data sensitive circuits. So in this case, this is only a power cable, but still the same concept applies here as well, and I would recommend you to look into this. Tip number 5. This is a fairly simple thing to do. Use a clamp-on ferrite core like this and push both the cables through the center of the ferrite core. Again, this is to reduce any EMI coming in from the SMPS. Fairly easy to find on web and fairly easy to install it as well. This is how the final assembly looks like. The blade diffuse holder has been soldered to the cable going into the rig, and on the other side there's 2 pairs of Anderson power poles. There's enough videos online to see how to crimp the terminals and how to assemble it together. Hope you found this video useful for maintaining your DC power cables. If you have any additional tips on maintaining the cables or any tips to reduce EMI or RFI coming from either the rig or from the SMPS, do share in the comments. 73 and have a great day. Bye-bye.